What's your path, Sandeep?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Today, yeah, I think. Today we're gonna talk about pathways. What pathways is about and how can it help you in your daily life or professional life. In year 20.
Sandeep, could you just explain to our guest what Pathways is?
Yes, I will
I'm
talk
sorry.
about that. In year 2010, Toastmaster International came up with the new educational program, which is called Pathways. They started working on that. They came up with this idea to come up with a new curriculum that can fit to different needs. Prior to that, it was all manual like printed materials like this. You would get, if you join Toastmaster, you would get a book like this, this is a competent communication and this is competent leadership. So you would do 10 speeches, you complete this manual and you get CC award, and you do 10 projects and you would get leadership award for that. But then Toastmasters International, they realized that it's because everyone, whoever joins Toastmasters, they would follow the same path, same track, same speeches, and then Toastmasters thought to bring some innovation into it, and they come up with pathways. So we're gonna talk about pathways. What is? It's a new education program in the journey of any Toastmaster. That's all. So you have this old program, and which is going to be phased out in June 2020, and after that it's all pathways. Why Toastmasters introduced pathways? What are the benefits of the pathways to the Toastmasters? It's a tailored self-paced learning program. Members they realize that different people have different needs, and following one track for your communication will not solve your cause. So they came up 10 different paths, so you can follow them based on your needs. You want to do leadership track, you want to improve your interpersonal communication skills, you want to do management type of job, and then it's all in the pathways. So it's for everyone. Everyone is different. Like different people have to cater to different people's needs. And self-paced members can do their training on their own rate. Customizes member experience to their needs. Like I said, it's 10 different paths to satisfy different people's different needs. Flexibility to choose experience, which is, so it's a new experience. Everything is online. You don't have to carry these books anymore. You can go online and prepare for your speeches and other projects. Greater access to the materials, which means that there are abundant of resources on the Toastmasters site to how to do icebreaker or how to do other projects. There are videos, there are evaluation forms, there are way too many resources. Yeah, pretty much same thing. Expanded resources, real world applicability. So this with this 10 paths, actually there are 11 paths now. When Toastmaster came when they started to roll out pathways, they started with 10 paths, but then they realized another. Uh, so they added one more path after that. In old world, when you do speech, when someone delivers their speeches and then people evaluate them, with this new pathways, the evaluations have changed. So every project has evaluations. They're more designed to fulfill the outcomes of the speeches. So as I said, there were when first Toastmasters first introduced pathways, they came up with this top 10 paths. And then earlier this year, they added one more, which is engaging humor. So now we have 11 paths. They all, if you want to do leadership, you want to work on your leadership skills, you have dynamic leaderships, you have leadership development. You want to improve your communication, interpersonal skills, you have strategic relationship path. You want to achieve, you want to work on your presentation skills, you have presentation mastery. So they're all different, to satisfy different needs. So in each path, you will learn, there are some core competencies that you will learn. Each path is designed to design in such a way. For example, in dynamic leadership, the focus is primarily on number 1, and then 2, 3, 5, which is number 1 is public speaking, 2 is interpersonal communication, 3 is strategic leadership, and then you don't have number 4 here, and then 5 is the confidence. And similarly, other paths are designed. You see here, innovative planning, you have 1, 4, 2, 5. The numbers are not in series. So the focus is the focus in this path, the focus is public speaking, and then second one is your management. So it's in the order of the focus that requires for someone to complete a path. So these are the 5 core competencies that you will learn from pathways. It's the same thing what we saw earlier on the previous slide. These 5 competencies: public speaking, personal communication, leadership, leading and managing styles. All the 11 paths are designed to achieve these skills for the members. Each path has 5 levels. So 5 levels, these are 5 levels. These not to be confused with the 5 competencies. Competencies are different from the levels. Each path has 5 levels. Level 1 is mastering fundamentals. So this path is common all across 10 paths. Everyone who starts pathways, they do start with icebreaker. They do. This is a project number 2. It's a 3-part project. You do 2 speeches, 1 evaluation, and then you do 1 more speech, and that completes your level 1. And every path has these projects are same across all the paths. Level 2 is slightly different depending on the path that you select. This one right here, Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring, is a mandatory path. It's common in all 11 paths. And depending on your path, you will either do like for example, I'm doing strategic relationships, so I did understanding leadership style and understanding your cross cross cultural communication. If you are doing presentation mastery, you might do something else. You might do effective body language as opposed to doing cross cultural understanding. And then level 3 is to enhance your knowledge. It includes 2 elective and at least 2 elective. So you can choose two projects out of all these listed here. Level 4, it gets more advanced, where you have to you work on where you deep dive into your skills that you want to achieve from the path that you have selected. So they are all these projects are same, but then you can choose. You have the option to choose either one of them depending on your path. And level 5 is the final level, and you basically demonstrate your expertise on the path that you have selected. So they're all, you can choose any one of them to finish your level 5. Just a comparison between traditional legacy system, education system, which is these books here, and then pathways. Meetings do not change; they remain the same. Meeting formats remain the same. Earlier, if you were on, you have worked on these manuals, you would sign up for a speech and you would get your evaluation on at the end of the speech here from your evaluator. This is how you used to get evaluations. Now everything is online. You can get a form online and print it, bring it to the speech, and give it to your evaluator. This pretty much it's same in old system and the new system. Before if you complete your CL manual, you would receive a certificate from Toastmasters. Now you will receive online badges with the pathways. Icebreaker remains the same, whether you were on the old system or new. VP of Education tracks your progress, same, nothing changed there. Speeches, 5 to 7 minutes, nothing changed there. Earlier there were 68 competencies. Now with pathways, you can learn 300 competencies. Before there were 2 tracks, one for communication, which is this one. You finish this, you move on to advanced communication, and similarly you finish the basic leadership track, and then you move on to advanced leadership tracks. But now there are 10 paths. Sorry, 11 now. DTM. This DTM is Distinguished Toastmaster, as we know. It's the highest level of education that you can get from Toastmasters program. Not today. I mean, it's the earlier the traditional program. You would have to complete all these to get to DTM. You would have to complete communication, all the communication manuals and leadership manuals, and then you will get to DTM. Here it's slightly different. You will have to complete 2 paths, which means out of those 11 paths, you will have to finish 2 paths to achieve DTM, and which means that if you are doing one path and you want to start another one, you would still have to do an icebreaker. You still have to do your all the level 1 project that we saw earlier. You would have to do them. And then you also serve as district officer for 1 year and all these things. That's when you get your DTM project. How do we get started on the pathways? A lot of people having trouble with this. When you join Toastmaster Club, when you join any Toastmaster Club, you will receive an email when your profile is created on the Toastmasters org international site, which is this site. You will receive an email with your username and no password. You will go online and reset your password. You come to this and then you change your password. You log in here, and then you click. Oh, it's missing it. There's a link for pathways. You click that and you come to this page, and then from here you select this one to select your path, and you get to this screen. You have the option to do online, or you can order printed materials like these books. Those cost $45, and this is $20. But first path is included in your membership. If you want to do any additional path, then you would have to pay $20 more. Yeah, and then you select purchase Basecamp. You come to this page, and this is where you start your assessment, self-assessment. They ask you a few questions. What are the things that you want to work on? You select at least 3 of them, and you continue. And then you get similar questions like these. How relaxed are you while doing a speech? What's your confidence level? What do you want to achieve from the Toastmaster program? So there are similar questions, and you keep pressing. You select your choice, and then go next. And at the end of this survey, you will get this page, which based on your responses for all those questions, you get this like 3 choices for path selection. So this one is the recommended. This is the best match, but you can choose this or that. Even if you want to change something else, then there's a drop down here. You can select here, and then you have all the 11 paths listed here. If you don't want to choose any one of them, you can still choose any other. Once you have selected the path, then you come to the Basecamp. This is the Basecamp which is the gateway for your pathways. You will have all these links here. This tells you how to navigate within the Basecamp. This tells you what's your progress. Feedback is you deliver a speech, you can get feedback online the way we currently do on the papers. You can request for the feedback online from the club members. And all your badges, if you have completed levels, they will be here. And all your speech evaluations that you have, you take those papers back. You have the ability to upload them on the site. I'm just going to talk about this part here. So, sorry, this is the wrong slide. Yeah. From here, you basically go here. This is all your summary of progress. Everyone starts with level 1, and level 1 you will have icebreaker, your evaluation and feedback, and then your third project, research and present. After you have completed all of these, like you would have to launch first. You would have to activate your each project. You launch this, and then you basically again they ask you a few questions. You answer those questions, and then you stop in the middle after answering questions, and then you prepare the speech, your icebreaker, come back, deliver the speech at the club, come back here, and then finish your rest of the project here online. Once you have completed that, you move on to the next one, next one. After you have completed all the projects listed here, you will have to submit your level completion. If you don't do this, people you generally forget to do this. If you don't do this, your VP education will not receive a notification for your level completion. You may have completed all the projects, but it won't show on your record. So this is how an icebreaker looks like. Just the first page of that. You can begin here, and then there's a link for if you want to see what's included in your icebreaker. Similarly here, this is some other project, and it's same screen layout. Pretty much, you have option to move between all these links. You can go back or go forward. This, like I mentioned earlier, there's a big library of resources on the Toastmasters site. You can go online with the site. The URL for that is here. You see this. There's a tutorials, evaluation resources, project descriptions. I'm sorry, I can't. I don't know whether you can read this. It's too the fonts are too small. Yeah, this is everything. It's all here. If you need any more details on your project and pathways. Okay, this ends this presentation about pathways. Any questions? Yes.
Go back to the that program summary where you're talking about if you finish all the assignments but you forget to do
This
one thing. Yeah.
This one.
Yes, you'll not get the level up. I mean, like, is there a time limit for that?
Oh no, there's no time limit for that.
Oh, so that's not okay. So
Yeah.
that means that.
Yeah, so there's no time limit for that. The idea behind this is that you can still continue to do your projects at the club. You can, in the meeting, you can do speeches or evaluation depending on your path. But so if you start a project, you answer a few questions. They check your comfort level in the beginning, and then they ask you to stop, and then do the speech at the club and come back there. So it's like technically, if you have done all these speeches, you can complete all the projects in one day. But that's not what the idea is. You start a project, you deliver a speech, and you come back here, and then you finish this project here. That's how it should work. Yes.
If someone belongs to more than one club, can they do more than one pathways?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The printed booklets, they look like those?
Uh,
Or are they just downloaded PDFs?
No, you have the option to download PDF and print for yourself. I haven't seen any printed booklets for the pathway, so I don't know how they look like. Sorry.
Okay.
Any more questions?